So last week, you were lamenting the fact that we have to come on here week after week and talk about goaltending. Well, strap in, Ryan, and strap in, ladies and gentlemen, because we are about to talk some more goaltending.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
No. And there's other things too, man.
I posted on our Instagram that was the most demoralizing loss of the season. Would you agree with that statement?
I think given the circumstances of the game, and I think are they undefeated in outdoor games too? They've won.
Yes. No. They lost to the Capitals in Washington a couple of years ago. So
yeah,
they're 2-2.
It's just given the circumstances and given the opponent in the way they played against this opponent, I'm walking out of that game being like, can the Leafs beat the Sabres in a 7-game series if they played in the playoffs tomorrow?
Not with Petr Mrazek in the net.
That's why this one hurts. It's beginning to become, people are speaking about how they're playing weak hockey teams. I don't care what place you're in, because when you're playing this hockey team, it does not matter what place you are in the standings the way they're playing right now. And it's just the way that they're just getting out-muscled. They're getting outplayed by one of the worst teams in the NHL and a team in their division in a big game outside where the stars shine bright, and they just go out and their goalie sucks.
No, he sucks.
I
said 2 weeks ago, Petr Mrazek sucks. And then I said, that was kind of mean. No. Petr Mrazek sucks.
Yeah.
I am tapping out. Kyle, this is me waving the white flag. Don't make me watch one more second of Petr Mrazek in the net. Like, don't. He's awful.
You just knew once that puck went off Brody's skate, it's like, once you give up a goal like that, Petr Mrazek doesn't have the ability to just shut down the rest of the game. Like, that's a goal you can't afford to let in because you know he's not going to make the stops when you need him to later in the game.
Yes.
So as soon as that went in, it's like, this might be over. Like, it's bad, man. I don't know what they're going to do. They have a absolute nobody backing him up. They have nobody beneath them.
At this point, I would go with Stahlgren.
Yeah, it couldn't be any worse.
I would go with it.
It's
like, if the dude, like, I know he has like an okay track record with the Marlies, but like, he's played in the KHL, he's played pro hockey.
But it doesn't even matter at this point.
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter. Like, we were watching the game, and you were saying that like people are like, no, who are they going to go get as a goalie? Because you look at the options out there. If they're going to go get a goalie, who's going to come here and essentially assume the number one duties and play game one in the playoffs? That's who you're looking for. But then you said to me, at this point, anything's better than what we have right now, and it's true.
Yes,
because it's
Petr Mrazek is that awful.
Yeah, he's that bad.
Yes,
it's 2 bad goals a game, at least.
Okay, hold on. Let's pull the reins back here. 3.5 minutes into this thing. Let's talk positive. Just one quick positive. Shout out to you, by the way, because I was really vocal about how much I disliked those arena unis when they first debuted them, and you said wait until we watch them in context. I think they're going to look good, and you were absolutely right.
Yeah, no,
that was the most enjoyable part of today's game, was staring at those beautiful uniforms.
Yeah, nice uniforms.
So there we go. There's our positive out of the way. Yeah. So let's get back into it. I have been a Toronto Maple Leafs fan my entire life. I've seen ups and downs. I've seen the highs of Felix Potvin, Curtis Joseph, Eddie the Eagle. I've seen the lows of Vesa Toskala, Andrew Raycroft, Johnny Burns.
Yeah.
I've seen
the monster.
I've seen the highs and lows.
Yeah.
Petr Mrazek is the worst goaltender this team has had in my entire life of being a fan. He is awful. And he gives up back-breaking, demoralizing goals. And to your point, he can't shut it down after that.
No. That's the worst part about the way him and Campbell have been playing as of late. It's like sometimes the team is going to make a mistake that allows a goal that the goalie can't make a save on, which is like, that happens. But the problem with them is, like, once that happens, the game is over because you know there's another 2 bad ones coming their way. You know there's another 2 bad goals left in those 2 goaltenders right now that your team can't afford to make a mistake that a goal ends up getting in. Like that's their problem right now. And at this point, it's like, I don't even know. Like, what, they're going to play an unproven guy because their goalie sucks so much, or they're going to go out and completely overpay for a goalie who can come in and suck too. Like, it's the worst situation you can be in as an NHL franchise. It's the worst. And it's not even close.
Okay. I'm getting a bit of a complex here because I don't want to do my best Colin Cowherd impression where like I come on one week and say something and then come on the very next week and contradict myself. But so you look at the trade deadline, okay? Around the corner. Because of the way this team is constructed with their salary cap and how they're so up against it, what can they really do? Because if you're going to bring in a goal, here's the thing about like going and getting a Braden Holtby or somebody like that. Petr Mrazek's contract's got to go the other way. Petr Mrazek makes $3.9 million. Who is taking Petr Mrazek at that ticket?
So a really bad hockey team who's going to suck for the next couple of years.
I have come on here repeatedly and praised Kyle Dubas and said he doesn't deserve to get fired if they don't win a round. He doesn't deserve it. But signing this guy to that contract when he's this bad and not being able to maneuver your way out of it because
signing.
of your cap situation, it's no good. And yes, I know I'm contradicting myself here. I know. But it's like everyone keeps talking about, oh, I just got a note on the iPad that says Tom Brady announces he will return for his 23rd season to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Really?
Yeah. So I literally just am sitting here staring at my iPad and I just got a notification that Tom Brady will return.
Wow.
Anyways, Sorry, lost my train of thought there. Yeah. Big news in the world of sports. Like everyone prognosticating about what's going on in the salary cap, going on heading into the trade deadline, they're saying there's not much they can do because of their cap situation. That's on the general manager. Like, you can't fix this. If Jake Muzzin is not going to go on LTIR, which it's looking like he's not going to, you only have so much room to maneuver here.
They have no room. Like, it's just, they have no room. Every single person who occupies money on this hockey team is a player that another team does not want. Like, that is the fact.
Except for Austin Matthews.
If I am Kyle Dubas, I'm going to check deep into my memory and remember the way Lou Lamoriello used to do business, and I'm going to call Jake Muzzin on the phone. I don't care if it's ethical or not. I'm going to call him and say, hello, Jake. I'll see you game 1 of the playoffs. We need your $5 million to go make this team have any sort of chance to win a round. Not a Stanley Cup, to win a round. That's what I'm doing. I'm being a savage because...
So would you then use that money to go and acquire a goaltender? The problem with is Mrazek's got to go... I think here's the hesitation, right? So let's just say they put Muzzin on LTIR and they have access to his 5.5, okay?
Yeah.
I think they're really hesitant to part with anything of value for a rental. But the problem is like you're in a position right now where it's like, I'm so broken. Like, I'm so broken talking about, like, I can't believe we're sitting here and it's like, here, I'm going to go on this rant now about like, oh, if they get Muzzin's money and they don't want to give up a prospect or a pick for a rental, but it's like, your cap situation is as such, you kind of got to do what you got to do. And it's like, really, we're here again. Like, we're here again. That is what is so has me beaten down so much. It's like, we're still sitting here. We're talking about salary cap. We're talking about contracts. We're talking about shitty goalies.
And we're talking about the same team.
Yes.
Like,
we're talking about the same
guy,
yeah.
Same group of dudes. Like, The goaltending is awful, but I watch every single night that second line get paraded out.
It's a
5-on-5.
It's a huge problem.
And they suck. I don't care how many points William Nylander has. I don't care how many points John Tavares have. It's nice. It's good for an argument of why they've been okay, but you are not watching the game intently if you're believing that line is any good. No. They suck. That second line that's supposed to go out and produce and have offensive zone time and put pressure on other teams, they are not doing that, and it sucks. And watching Nylander and Tavares together is painful at this point for me personally. William Nylander, I've held this in. If anybody who's been with us since day one knows that this guy, I've never been a fan. And when it's going bad, and when this team is going bad,
he had an ugly third period.
He is the guy I always look at because he has the most movable contract, and he is the guy who could generate the most interest on his skill alone. It is not so much about who's a good hockey player and who's a bad hockey player. It's about the same group of guys on the same team every single year getting the exact same results and doing the exact same thing.
Definition of insanity.
Eventually, you have to move on from something. And he is the obvious one to move on from.
He's the most tradable contract. He's got the most upside. A GM would be enticed to pick that deal up.
Listen, he's a very skilled player. But when you're assembling a hockey team, you have like your best player. You have your McDavid, your Matthews, your McKinnon, your whatever. And then you go down to your second best player. You have your Rantanens, your Bergerons, your that whatever. And William Nylander kind of fits on that third, fourth best player list. And it's just like Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner both provide a lot of offense. Not very tough guys. Don't really get involved physically. And then Nylander just added to the mix of this hockey team. It's just I'm so tired of watching this group fail the same way every single year, and I'm singling him out because of the reasons I said before, but like it's just getting very frustrating watching the same group of dudes fail the same way every single year. And they had a great start to the season, but now we haven't even gotten to the playoffs and the writing is already on the wall.
I mean, yeah,
it's already on the wall. It's
I struggle so much because you look at the core, and I think the bar in a lot of people's minds is winning a playoff round. But realistically, they envision this to be a Stanley Cup window. Does anyone think that this team is going on a run with this goaltending? It's in this defensive play and one line that does anything offensively.
To all the people out there who will throw all the arguments at us of why they're a good team, it's like, okay, I hear you, but they're not good enough.
No.
They're a good team, they're not good enough.
But I honestly think I went on this rant last year when they got eliminated by the Habs. It's like, I do think there is a certain type of the fan base that just likes that this team has skilled players and they're not concerned with winning hockey games and winning a championship. I think it's more fun to just have a bunch of really good skilled players. I think that there is a segment of the fan base who values that more than winning an actual championship. That's the only logical explanation I can come up with for like, it's like we've seen enough. The writing is on the wall. This is like, yes, the chief reason why they've been in this like prolonged skid now is because their goaltending has been horrendous.
Yes.
However, it's the same core group of guys who just have nights like against the Buffalo Sabres a couple weeks ago where they're booed off the ice because they're so terrible. Like a game like today, it's like, okay, fine, they played pretty well for 2 periods and then just completely go to sleep in the third, and it's just an embarrassing effort.
But I'm also getting sick of we showed character tonight by coming back. It's like they were up against the Blue Jackets last week. They blew that lead, and then they came back and won. And a lot of people after that game are like, we love the character this team showed. It's like, no, they blew another lead. They blew another lead. And then they play against the Kraken, and they play awful for 2 periods, and they come back and they score a couple goals. A good character win. No! They've been playing bad hockey for 2 months. For 2 months.
It's just not for where we all expected them to be. It's just you just don't see it night in and night out.
I get
the first line aside and Austin Matthews aside, but at the same time, it's like you need. I'm 100% with you on the second line.
Oh, it's awful, man.
Yeah.
It's awful, and I can't wait till we drop this podcast and we get all the arguments against of why they're not awful. But I'm sorry. We've been watching hockey a long time, and I know a lot of people agree with us as well. That line sucks. Flat out sucks. They're not good defensively. They're not physical. They don't contribute 5-on-5 enough. Not good enough. Like, why is your second best line Kampf, Engvall, and Mikheyev? That's not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good enough. They have to. It's very hard to do in season, and it's very easy to come on these shows or listen to people on the radio saying they have to make a move. They have to make a move. It's hard to make moves in the middle of the season. You can't just call another general manager up and make a trade like the next day. But
especially when your salary cap is the way the Leafs salary cap.
But at this point, we've seen enough. I've seen enough of this group. I've seen enough. I'm done. Like, they haven't even got to the playoffs, and I'm already done. But like, it's just it's every single year. It could be goaltending. It could be defense. It could be depth scoring. It's just no matter what, it always comes back to the same road every single year. They have to do something to mix up this team, or else we're going to April and we are going to see the same result all over again, because right now I'm seeing the same result all over again in regular season play. It's just, it's crazy. A team that can make the playoffs every single year, who are good enough to make the playoffs every single year with guys who are Rocket Richard races, Art Ross races, and guys having career years. And again, it's just, it doesn't matter. It just always comes back to the same thing.
And to me, the deflating thing is like, they can't really go unless they do convince Muzzin, like you said, to sit it out for a little bit.
Which I was like earlier, I was a little savage. Like, it's not an easy thing to do, to look at a guy and be like, hey man, you're gonna have to sit out the rest of the season because like we need this money because I did an awful job signing hockey players and we don't have enough salary cap space. That's not an easy thing to do. But from a fan perspective, from someone who's just kind of selfish in their own fandom, that's the most logical move on planet Earth right now.
Well, and they're also in a situation where everybody and their brother knows that their goaltending is horrendous, and so if he calls anyone up and tries to make a trade to get Mrazek out of here or try to address his goaltending, whatever it may be, the GM on the other side is sitting there going like, "Oh, okay, yeah. How's that Nick Robertson looks pretty good. That Matthew Nyes looks pretty good. What's your first round pick this year?
Yeah. What's your first round pick for the next 10 years?
Yeah, it's just like they're in a horrible place right now.
Yeah, like it's almost like, really, what are they going to add? They're going to have to add depth. Like, they're not making a massive move, which is just even more deflating because it just can't be done. Partly because the way the NHL works, and partly because
the salary cap sucks.
The salary cap sucks, and just like that's not the way Dubas rolls. Like, it's just, this is like, I don't know, man. It's getting very, very difficult to continue watching them year after year after year just suffer the same fate over and over and over again. Like, it's just, it's weakening me every single week. Now when they come back, I'm not even excited. Like, it's just, unless they go out and play dominant 60 minutes and have a goalie let in 2 goals or less, which is impossible right now, no matter how bad they're playing, it comes back to what we said earlier. It's like, if you don't have a good goalie, now you're just extra screwed. So that's why right now, it's like all the reactions we're having about this team are just amplified to another level, because they wouldn't be at that level if they weren't letting 4 goals every single game.
That goal from the side today that Petr Mrazek allowed from like the corner, like, oh my God, like that, like you said, like the Brody accidental kick in is a morale booster. That third goal from the corner is a morale booster. The fourth goal, Nylander gets out muscled off the puck, and then it just goes through Petr Mrazek. He shoots it like into his bread basket, and somehow it falls down through the 5-hole in the net. It's just like at this point, like they gotta play Shalgren now.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Like honestly, like I get the whole like, well, you want to start like Keefe's reasoning for starting Mrazek tonight. So he's played an outdoor game. Like he's our guy. He's had a good career. He just hasn't shown it yet with us. But dude, he's been bad since the start. Like at this point, it's like I'd call David Ayers, get the Boney driver back here because it's better. I think it's got to be better than what's going on right now, man. Like it's all these problems are just getting amplified twofold because of how bad their goaltending is.
It also just speaks to the flawed way in which this roster is constructed and paying 4 guys all this money and not
producing.
Yeah, and then not.
You can pay guys money, but when they're not producing, it's a disaster.
So that's another thing too, right? If you're gonna get on Dubas, it's like it's not Kyle Dubas's fault that Nylander and Tavares aren't good enough right now.
Be a point of game hockey player.
Yeah.
Cool. I watch the games. You guys suck 5-on-5. You suck. Like there's no other way around it. You think Dubas is watching Nylander's performance tonight? Happy? He was terrible.
Yeah.
He was awful.
Yeah.
John Tavares was a non-factor. Yeah. He was nowhere to be found. Not dangerous at all. Getting blown by all game. Like it sucks, man. It sucks. And their defense, soft. Yeah. Sucks. Yeah. Can't do anything.
It's so soft. It's so the Buffalo Sabres just like are able to just control play in the Leafs zone and everybody just stands around and nobody does anything. And then you go back the other way. Like you're right. I thought like the first line had some good looks tonight. I thought Austin Matthews.
The first line always has good looks.
Yeah, I thought Austin Matthews was like, I loved the little scrum with Dahlin, although people are saying he's going to get suspended now.
Whatever. But at least he showed something.
Yeah.
He's pissed off because his team sucks.
Yeah.
And he's about to win the Hart Trophy.
Yeah, and
their team sucks.
Yeah, and the second, like you're right, their second best line is Kampf, Mikheyev, and Engvall.
They're dry. They're in the ozone more than the other line.
Yeah,
on a game to game basis. Like it's brutal. It's amazing how a team that's a shoe-in to make the playoffs every single year, and you're sitting here like they're in dead last.
Well, it's because like I was trying to say to you earlier, and then I just was overcome with disappointment. It's like the bar for this team is like they should be a cup contender. Like on paper, when you look at the guys they have, they should be a cup contender, and they're just not. Like they're not. Like I don't see, if you look at any of their potential first round opponents, okay, because Boston's right on their heels, so it's entirely possible that they fall back into a wild card
any day now.
So that opens up, besides the 2 Florida teams, a potential like Carolina, or Washington, and it's like, are you confident that the Leafs can beat any one of those teams?
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah, they slip into a wild card,
especially now with this goaltending.
Yeah, they're playing the Hurricanes or the Panthers.
Yeah,
like that's. I mean, like it's. I don't know, man. I'm not even looking forward to the playoffs at this point because there's still a decent amount of hockey to play, and I just pray that they can get something back on the rails. Because even when they're winning, I'm not happy. Even when they're winning, it's not good. Like it's just nothing's good right now.
If you can get, so let's hone in on the second line a little bit, because I was about to say, if you can get at least subpar goaltending and get that second line to start contributing, I think you can turn it around a little bit. How do you do that? Is it Tavares and Nylander just, they don't mesh?
No, they clearly don't.
Yeah.
When was a point in time where these guys were like good for a 5-game stretch? I haven't seen it. Have you? I don't know.
I mean, Nylander was pretty good to start the season and hasn't been the same post COVID break. And I think Johnny, as much as like you said, people like the numbers are there, but like he just hasn't passed the eye test at all this year to me.
No.
So like, I don't know. And like he's tried, like he had Kasha up there.
He tried it for 5 seconds.
Yes.
He tried it for 5 seconds. That's what he did. Like they switched that lineup for 10 seconds and then they went back to it. That's the only thing. You just got to move guys around. And that's why Nylander doesn't fit on this hockey team, because he can't play with Tavares. And what is he going to do? Play on the fourth line? Play on the third line? He's not a third or fourth line player. So what's the point of having him? That's my problem with this guy. It's like there's no point of having him on your team. He does nothing for you. You already have guys who can run your power play. He doesn't do anything 5-on-5. You can't put him on the third or fourth line, because what is he going to do there? That's my problem with this guy. And then they put Nick Robertson up there. Nick Robertson, skilled hockey player, can skate. Smallest hockey player I've ever seen in my entire life. You don't need another small hockey player. Like, that's the last thing this team needs. Like, it's just, I go watch our most watched episode of all time, where they got eliminated last season, and watch you go on a rant and where you were at that moment. Like,
you're there right now.
I'm like pushing up on that, and we haven't even started the playoffs. Like, it's just.
Has this been our most negative episode of all time?
No, I don't know.
It's a top 3 most negative episode of all time.
It's just like, I just want to sit down, mate, like with somebody who's the most optimistic Leaf fan in the world, and just hear what they have to say to me. Because I can't think of one thing that could be optimistic or positive that could tell me that this team's heading in the right direction. I can't. There's not one thing.
Well, you could say Austin Matthews, but he can't do it by himself.
No, you can't do it by himself. That line's amazing, but they can't do it all. Like, it's just
so. Literally, it looks like their only option is you roll with Stahlgren in net, and you wait for Jack Campbell to come back, and you hope that Jack Campbell can figure it out, because Petr Mrazek ain't it. He's never gonna be it.
No.
I never want to see him in between the pipes for the Leafs ever again. Like, never. So you have to, and at this point, it's like, I know that they're like Sheldon the other night, after the Arizona game, was like, he's played well elsewhere and he's really struggled with us, but we know he can do it. It's like, Sheldon, I'm telling you, man, he can't do it. He can't do it. It's just not a fit here. You're just going to have to, like, he's your backup goalie. Roll with Stahlgren or the other kid who plays for the Marlies, who was up with them earlier this year.
Whoa.
Joseph Woll. Like, roll with one of them and wait for Jack Campbell to come back and hope to God that that's the only chance you have to right this ship. Because if you want to trade for a goalie, Mrazek has to go the other way, and that's not happening because nobody's taking him. So the only chance you have is Jack Campbell, while he's off injured, gets centered mentally and can come back and play like he did at the start of the season. That's the only shot you have.
Like, we're saying that we want to put the trust of winning into 2 goalies we've never even heard of before.
Yes.
That's how bad
Yes.
Petr Mrazek has played.
Yes.
So
yes.
I can't think of any direction I could walk in where we're not screwed.
Yeah.
We are so screwed, it's not even funny. Like, it's sickening. It's a lost season. Like, I'll actually go on the record right now and say this season, it's lost. You spent all those years being a quote-unquote playoff contender with a goalie who is in the Vezina conversation right now. And he left for many reasons.
I'll wait.
I know.
Judgment
but he left
playoffs.
for many reasons.
Yeah.
So all those years were lost. And then you go into, like, arguably the most pressure-packed season for your general managing career, and you want to roll the dice on goaltending? That's what he did. He rolled the dice on goaltending this offseason, and it's bit him right in the ass.
He's
like,
not. Yeah.
You're the guy who played well for you for a season, played well and then sucked, and now he's hurt. the guy you signed, arguably one of your worst signings you've ever made, and now we're bringing up randoms that we've never even heard of before
from the Marlies. Yep, to hope that and putting all the trust in them.
And this is the year he has to show that he's capable of being the general manager of this hockey team. Lost season.
Oh
like
God.
It's just like I'm at that point right now. What scenario right now can you think of where they go in and win a couple rounds?
I just told you. I said the only scenario is one of these two kids, Stahlgren, Wohl, whoever, Hutchinson, come like. Petr Mrazek is so bad that I'm looking at Michael Hutchinson right now being like, there's like one of these kids from the Marlies comes in and holds down the fort and hope to God that Jack Campbell can do some sort of meditation to get himself centered while he's out with an injury, and then he comes back and resumes the way he played earlier in the season. That's the only shot you have.
And then Jack Campbell comes back, plays well, and then that issue's gone. But your defense still sucks, and your second line still can't play anybody 5-on-5.
Well, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Like, because you're right.
It's this thing's layered.
Yes.
It's like
an onion.
It's rotting with the goaltending.
Yes.
But if that's not the problem, then it's just like little disgusting pieces in all the layers. The defense, the forwards, it's just like, dude, like, why are we fooling ourselves here? Like, I don't know, man. Like, what are we doing? Like,
I don't know.
Man, I mean, at least they make the playoffs.
Well, Kyle, I've been sitting here right now saying, like, I've been defending Kyle for weeks, and now I'm officially at the point where I'm like, man, like, this is a mess. Like, this is a mess.
Like, worst case, like, at least we're a playoff team every year, and we have like a half decent hockey team to talk about, so we can get on here and do this podcast and whatever. At least they're not dead last. That's my bright side right now. Is at least they're a competitive team and they're not dead last. That's where I'm at. That's how low I am right now. Oh.
Well, folks, if you were coming here for some positivity, you came to the wrong place.
And comment on our video and please give me all your reasons of why I should believe this hockey team is a contender. Please do it.
Well, outside the first line, because we acknowledge that, yes, Bunting, Marner, and Matthews is one of, if not the best line in hockey. And yes, Austin Matthews is a Hart Trophy favorite. However, as you've been seeing in Edmonton forever.
There you go. You just took the words right out of my mouth.
If you don't have defense and goaltending, and if you don't have anyone else who can contribute beyond your top guy, you're dead in the water.
I know. I don't know, man.
Okay. Well, that was nice uniforms, though. We can take that away. Nice uniforms.
I think I
good vibe at Tim Hortons Field.
I don't think I could get any lower than I did today.
Well, there you have it, everybody. You just witnessed history on the Talking Buds podcast. Ryan is officially broken.
Yeah, I am.
When like 2 months ago you were like, I'm just gonna ride the wave. I'm not gonna get too high. I'm not gonna get too low.
That's because they were playing
and then
well.
Petr Mrazek came along and he just broke you.
That's because Jack Campbell was in the Vezina conversation and everything was good. They were top 10 and everything, and then it's just like, here we go again.
Thanks, everybody, for checking us out this week. If you like what you see, hit that like and subscribe button below. Spread the word. Tell your friends. We really appreciate it. Also, as always, if you're listening to the audio version, hit that little 5-star button at the top. Leave a little review, thumbs up. Any little bit always helps. I'm genuinely sorry that we couldn't be more positive this week, but it's really, really hard to do so when I have to watch Petr Mrazek play like the worst goaltending I've ever seen.
No good.
And yeah, just issues, man. And the cap situation, like, it's just the fact that you can't go, like, yes, the NHL sucks, the salary cap sucks, but like Kyle Dubas has done this to himself. Like, the fact that you can't go and address certain needs your team has, especially when you have a Hart Trophy favorite like playing extremely well right now, and you can't go make tweaks and adjustments to help support him and give him what he needs because your cap is just in such a bad spot, is entirely on you. You did that to yourself, dude. Yeah. You did that to yourself.
and you're too buddy with everyone to let anybody go. We're gonna roll with the same group over again and over again, and we're gonna suffer the same results over again and over again. Oh my goodness.
Thanks, everyone. We need to get Ryan out of here. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.